Hey everyone, I'm Chris from VarsityGaming, and this is To Catch a Hacker. Today's subject was found because of two ranked games that I had played earlier this week. In the first game, the player was on my team, and I thought they were looking a little suspicious. And then following that game, I queued up for another one, and they were on the enemy team. First, we'll be looking at the footage from the match, and then I'll be looking at the analytics from R6DB, the stat tracking website. Now, I do want to emphasize before we get into it, the more convincing parts of this argument are in the second half with the analytics. The less convincing parts are with the video. So even though the videos aren't that convincing of any hacks or cheating going on, I did want to show them just as a way for you guys to get a basis of what's happening with this player. So don't go all crazy being like, oh, this person's just a normal player, why are you trying to witch hunt him? I'm just trying to show you guys the basis of the argument. The first clip I'm going to show you is from the first match when I was on the player in question's team. We were on the attacking side and I had already died that round, so I was spectating around the players. Whenever I passed by this player, he kept flicking around trying to get cool shots. And then this was the result. So while this shot is pretty suspicious, I overall don't really think it's too bad. Main reason being is because I play with people like Patrick who do this shot all the time just because they're always trying to go for highlight trick shots. Our team did make the call that the last defender was inside of the blue tunnel of Clubhouse, so it makes sense why Hibana knew that they were in there. And it did take them multiple attempts just to get it. However, they did keep shooting at the exact same point, so it makes me wonder if Rook was maybe hiding behind the generator and Hibana just couldn't land the shot. And eventually when they did move out of cover, they finally landed the shot. But we'll move on to the next clip. Now this clip in itself is not that suspicious. It is a good play by the player in question. They waited it out and clutched out a 1v2.
Like C4 bay or something from office? Oh.
So like I said here, nothing really suspicious. Mirror took out one person and turned on the other. Pretty normal, smart gameplay. So even though nothing suspicious happened here, I couldn't really help shake the feeling that something felt just a bit off. After playing with the person on my team, it just seemed like this player was not acting completely normal. So I decided to look up their stats on their R6DB profile. So for those of you who do not know, R6DB is a website where you can look up people's stats from previous seasons, and I decided to look up this person's stats. So here you can see the player's stats. Overall, they're not really that amazing. They have, a little bit over 50% win rate. They have a 1.27 KD in ranked, but a negative KD in casual. And over the past few seasons, they've gone up in rank. They started off as a Gold 4 in Operation Health and have slowly worked their way up to Plat 1. So just at the glance of things, this doesn't seem too suspicious. The big jump from Gold 2 to Plat 1 is kind of weird, but it's possible. I've seen people do even bigger jumps and they play completely legitimately. But I decided to dig a little deeper because this still didn't seem completely accurate. How could someone doing so well and that every time I see them they have like a 2 or 3 KD ratio only have a 1.27 in rank? That just didn't really make sense to me. And yes, I do know that the 1.27 KD ratio is from all previous seasons. So if they were really shit before, it's going to be really hard to increase that ratio since they have all those old stats bogging them down. However, I'm just saying that seeing that 1.27 kind of made me more suspicious because it seemed out of the ordinary. So I scrolled down and looked at a bunch of deeper stats. With these graphs, you can see their win rate and KD ratio every single day of the week. I primarily focused on the kill-death ratio. Over the past week, they've had a KD ratio ranging from between 1.85 to about 2.8. That's a really good fucking ratio to have when your overall KD ratio for ranked is 1.27. And to consistently be at 2 or above for the entire week except for one day is very, very hard to achieve unless you're just a really good player. So this is where my suspicions start to get a little more warranted, is that this person who normally would go negative in almost all matches is suddenly pulling out 2 or greater KD ratios. And then when you look at their win ratio, it's kind of all over the place. One day is as low as 40%, some days are as high as 100% or 90%. But win rates, I'm not really going to count because, honestly, anything can happen in ranked. You can win and be bottom fragger with 0 kills. Doesn't really matter. Now, this next part is where the proof really starts to stack up. This player that we were playing against had a consistent between 10 to 30 ping the entire match, meaning that they were located in North America. Makes sense, right? However, when I looked at their previous ranks and previous seasons, they were always playing on European servers. Operation Health, they had Gold 4 in Europe. Operation Blood Orchid, Gold 3 in Europe. Operation White Noise, Gold 2 in Europe. In all of those seasons, unranked in both America and Asia. And then Operation Chimera, Europe, unranked. North America, Plat 1. Asia still unranked, so that one really doesn't matter. But why would this person be going from Europe to America all of a sudden? So I decided to just be straight up and ask the person in game. And here's what happened. And the person in question responded with, "No, lol." So they themselves even admit that they've never played on European servers, even though this account has ranks on European servers for the past 3 seasons. And it really wouldn't make sense why he would lie about this, because what would he have to hide? If someone asks you, oh, hey, have you ever played on EU or on Asian servers, then you usually just say, yeah, either you have or you haven't. You just tell the truth. There's really no reason to lie about something this small. That right there for me was the biggest proof. It really makes zero sense why they would have European ranks but be NA based. And then even if they did play on Europe, why would they lie about it? And just to show that it's not a glitch, because, R60B is not perfect, they take stats from Ubisoft, but sometimes things get messed up. You can see my stats from the previous few seasons. Back in Operation Health, I did used to play sometimes on European servers when I played with Patrick and them. So I had a rank then. But I never played Europe after Blood Orchid. And as you can see, I'm still unranked in all those seasons. So it's not just a case of R6DB fucking up and this person had all their NA stats moved to Europe. They genuinely played on European servers and then denied it. And another piece of evidence I want to throw in just for the sake of the argument is that you can notice that in Operation Health they won 78 games and lost 69. This means that they played almost 150 games in Operation Health on European ranked. And then in Blood Orchid, they won 19 and lost 19, which means they played 38 games. And in White Noise, they won 9 and lost 6. So that means they only played 15. Each season, they played less and less games, and then all of a sudden in Operation Chimera, they just skyrocketed in skill. I think you can kind of agree that doesn't really seem to make any sense. How can someone play the game less and suddenly get a lot better? I know not everyone's the same. Some people don't get better by playing a shit ton, they just get better by studying and learning. And fuck, I've played this game for years, and now, in the past 2 weeks, I've slowly been getting worse and worse. So really playing more does not necessarily equal better skill. They could have gone and played other games like Counter-Strike or something and just gotten better at gun skill. Who knows? But for someone to do not that great for so many seasons in a row, and then slow down how much they're playing and then all of a sudden ramp it up and just do amazing, it really doesn't seem to make sense. So this has shown quite a bit of proof against the player in question, showing that they seem to very obviously be hacking or have something fishy going on. However, in the second match, when I was against them, we beat them. We won 4-2. And there was one very weird thing that happened. The player in question was playing Ella in the last round, and they were lying down right next to the Visa office window. They were waiting for someone to jump in, and then they were going to kill them as soon as they jumped in.
He was peeking.
Ella was in there. Be careful, Sophia.
Oh,
she's still there. She's still there. Got her. So if they really were hacking, they probably wouldn't have fallen for this. They would have known that someone was looking at them and gone ready to shoot. But again, to argue the other side, they also weren't looking at me. They were looking straight forward. So it's possible to say if they had walls that they could see where people are, they just didn't notice me because they weren't looking in my direction. And they were too focused on the person about to jump in. So most of the time when someone has something like walls, they won't fall for something that bad. They'll usually be able to counter it pretty easily. However, all the other evidence seems to heavily be stacking against the person. So that's why I'm not entirely sure where to draw it. but for the sake of the video, I am going to come to a final conclusion. In conclusion, with all of the evidence presented, I would say that this person definitely has some sort of cheating or hacking going on. Whether it be something like soft walls, which for those of you who don't know, basically just means that they can see where people are on the map. It doesn't necessarily improve their aim or make it so they can teleport and stuff like that. They can just see where people are. This won't always get you a shit ton of results just because even though you know where they are, they can still outgun you. So a lot of people do tend to use soft walls but hide it by doing really stupid plays or just by doing other things that don't really draw suspicion. So overall, I do think they might be running something. Maybe they'll toggle on every once in a while if they're having a bad streak just to save their MMR. But at least in this match, it didn't seem too suspicious. They just seemed to play really well, which doesn't really seem to line up with their previous stats. So final conclusion, I think they have some form of cheating software on their computer, whether they have it on all the time or whether they have a very, very good type of cheat. I'm not entirely sure, but I think they do have something. It's not natural for someone to just ramp up and do that amazing after 3 seasons of declining performance. Or not necessarily declining performance. They were doing better each season, but they were playing less and less. And to all of a sudden just come back into the game and do amazing is just kind of unheard of. But yeah, I want you guys to let me know what you think. Let me know in the comments down below whether you think this person is hacking or whether they're not. And I should clarify and actually say whether they're cheating or not. I know last time I did a video like this, a lot of people got really pissed off about me saying the word hacking all the time. I say the word hacking because it's more well known. You understand what I mean. It means they're cheating. Who cares? It's not like they're hacking into the Pentagon, they're just cheating. But yeah, let me know in the comments if you think this person is cheating or not, and we can have some debate over it. But that'll be it for the video. Take care, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.